Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. It's the big one personally for me, Mexico, the team I've been saying can really make an impact on this World Cup. Hirving Lozano can be the standout player that comes through, and here we are, Mexico against South Korea. One of the most exciting games of the weekend after England tomorrow at 1 o'clock, because if they can beat South Korea today, they have got a massive foot in being top of this group, which means they could, if Brazil win the other group, avoid Brazil, play Switzerland maybe, and leave Germany, Brazil. But Mexico coming up in the next few minutes, and very excited to see what they can do. Absolutely superb they were last week, weren't they? Last Sunday afternoon against Germany. But this is the test. This is the acid test for Mexico, because they're favourites this afternoon. They're favourites against South Korea. They weren't favourites. They were the underdogs against Germany, and they played really, really well. How are they going to perform as favourites? Because if they're going to go far into this tournament, they need to be able to deliver when they're not when they are the favourites. Let's see what happens. Thanks to Bastian Suglas. Welcome back, says Andrew Rossi, Mini Diver, and Luca says, let's go Mexico. And Fekir isn't a special player. You know what? I'm going to talk about that on the United stand later on, but apparently Mourinho has been in conversations with the Lyon president. I do not want Fekir at Manchester United. Those are silly games to be playing to try and nick a player that Liverpool had. It's really small-minded, so I hope it's not him that we're after. Okay. Mad Marcus is here as well. And Lozano to Barcelona, says Archie. Well, I don't think he'd be coming to Manchester United anyway, let's put it that way. But certainly a player that I'd be very, very interested in. So, should we discount South Korea so early? Should we do that? I don't know. I think at this stage, it's still a lot of football still to be played. And South Korea only lost 1-0 to Sweden, so they could put up something today. And as I said, the pressure's on Mexico. The pressure is on Mexico because they are the favourites. They are the favourites in this game, and they are favourites now, for me, to finish the group off. I'm just putting the tweet out, so if everybody else can share it as well, that would be appreciated. I don't even know what the hashtag is, so hashtag Mexico we'll just have to do. There we go. Okay. I got a bit of a cup of tea on the go because I've got a bit of a sore throat. I reckon it's going to be 1-1, says Andrew Kidd. Where are your beers, says Pankaj. I'm not on them yet. And South Korea don't stand a chance, says LolXD. You're not doing Germany-Sweden, Mark. Anaban, I'm doing all 3 games. I'm doing all 3 games today. So you've got me for all 3. I tell you what, it's very tiring doing these as well. I was talking about this to Xander before. Sitting down and watching 3 games of football sounds like the dream Saturday, doesn't it? And maybe it is if you can have a little kip every now and again. But being live with all you good people and having to talk and keep an eye on everything, it can get quite tiring. The Fekir news is coming from French football Twitter account. But we'll be talking about that on the United stand a little bit later. Mad Marcus is saying 2-1 to Mexico. James Egan says 2-0. Mark, prediction time, says Envesh. Yes, I'll give you that in 10 minutes, mate. Where is Xander, says Chernan. He's getting jiggy with it, with his girlfriend. He's had a day off. And I think it will be 3-2 to Mexico, says Pankaj. I tell you what, Pankaj, I'll have a bit of that pie. 3-2, 5-goal thriller. I'd love it. As long as Mexico win, I don't really care. To be honest, if South Korea turn up and play well, fair dues. But Mexico are one of my teams for this tournament. I want them to do really well. And the distances between these games are massive, aren't they? I'm just looking at the map there. This is at the Rostov Arena. And yeah, the difference between these games and the climate's ridiculous. The game we had at lunchtime, it was quite sunny, and then it was, and then it rained. And then this game, I think it looks a bit overcast. Will Lozano leave PSV this transfer window, says Evie Burgess. He's only been there 1 year, Evie, but he might do. He might do. Mexico are going to win 2-1 after trailing 1-0 at half time, says Wira619. Chicarito to score, says Archie, and it'll be 3-0. This group's a great group. I love this group. It's really caught the imagination of me, and I hope a lot of you lot as well, because I think we thought Germany will run away with it, and then it's a battle for second place, probably between Mexico and Sweden. If Mexico win today, they are in pole position. 6 points, they're in pole position. And then Sweden-Germany tonight takes on all sorts of different things. Because even if Germany beat Sweden tonight, they'll still only have the same points as Sweden. 3, because they lost to Mexico. So Mexico have got to win this game, and then it leaves the group leaves that Sweden-Germany game in a real interesting situation. Why can't Sweden beat Germany? I mean, Germany are favourites, but why can't they do it? Come on, Korea, says Aaron Chen. Yeah, we mustn't forget Korea. Nothing against Korea at all. Mexico are just I want Mexico to do well, but a bit like Switzerland last night, I wanted Serbia to win, and by the end of it, I was saying fair play to Switzerland. So if South Korea can put in a performance, and you know what? We've seen France struggle, Spain struggle, Germany struggle. Why on earth are Mexico not going to struggle against South Korea? It's not a foregone conclusion by any means. Mexico are impressive, says, oh, hairdryer treatment. Hello, Sophie, if that really is you. Let me click and see if it is. You never know. Oh, sugar. I've just done something I didn't mean to do. There we go. I blocked her by mistake. She should be back now. And it is the real one as well, which is good to see. Good to see Sophie on. Hopefully Sophie will be on. Haven't asked her yet, but hopefully she will be on the United Stand tomorrow night. Remember, United Stand is live at 9 o'clock every night, but we're live at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Right, okay. So, I've unblocked her now. Sweden can be good when they're underdogs. It's happened before, says Jack Lundmark. Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing Lindelof tonight. He's going to be kept busy. Can he be the centre-back I believe he can be? Can Eric Bailly and Lindelof be United centre-backs? I think Lindelof can. And what an audition for him tonight, playing against such a good team. That South Korean goalkeeper looks a bit weird. He's a bit like Firmino, isn't he? You know what I mean? Thanks, Mad Marcus. Rahil says, I came for Mark and I liked for Sophie, and Sophie will be there tomorrow, which is great. Thanks for that. And Sophie is very busy at the moment. She's getting in lots of training, trying to get in the United team. So no more using the word LOL. Oh, okay, whatever. Please do share the video, bottom right hand corner, and please do subscribe. I've lost my subscribe thing. Where's that gone? There we go. We are 43 subscribers away from 38,000 subscribers. So please do share the video and get involved. We are on our, God knows what match we're on now, but we're doing a live stream watch along for every single World Cup game. So get involved. Firmino is very handsome and far better than Sanchez, says Emperor Hallisons. Brian Cruz, I could see that coming a mile off. What's the... Okay. Oh, that's nice. Come on, Mexico. Well, Sophie's rooting for Mexico. I'm rooting for Mexico. And... want England to get Germany in the final, says Paul Gibson. Lingard to score the 93rd minute winner and Millie Rock in front of the German fans. It would be an interesting scenario, that would. Still a few minutes till kick-off. Matthew McFadden. Chicarito looks so happy. My prediction, Andrew Kidd, I will give you as soon as the game kicks off, because I'm in a predictor league. Although it doesn't really matter because I'm not doing particularly well in it at the moment. So it's not like I'm giving away trade secrets or anything like that. But I do traditionally always give it when the game kicks off. But let us know what your score predictions are. Could we get a little bit of a shock? Is it possible that South Korea could break this group wide open and get a result that would allow Germany back in, and maybe they could nick first place. We don't want to see that. We don't want Germany getting first place. I want to see the Mexicans get in top place, but they've got to deserve it. And as I said, they're playing today as favourites. Last week they were playing as underdogs. As favourites, can they win? And if they do win, for me, that shows a little bit of a pedigree that this Mexican team could do quite well. So, a couple of minutes still till kick-off. Still need to sort out what I'm having for my tea. I'm stuck between fish and chips and and an Indian tonight. I'll see how we go over the next hour, because I might have to order it while I'm live. Get it for 6 o'clock. Only got an hour gap. It's been a long day already, hasn't it? Did the Belgium game, hour gap. Mexico game, hour gap. Germany game, and then straight after the Germany game, United stand live at 9 o'clock. So, busy Saturday, but all football related, so you can't knock it. Lozano, Leon, Hernandez, Herrera, Guardado, Vela. I thought they defended really well, Mexico, as well, against Germany, which is important. You got to put the hard yards in. You got to defend well. Mark Moon's having an Indian. Fish and chips, his boss, says Andrew Rossi. Vindaloo, says Bailey Cross. Thank God for VAR. No wrong results despite bad referees everywhere, says Mick Deb. Don't get me started on VAR, Mick Deb. I think VAR is a bit hit and miss, to be honest. I think, as we saw with Mitrovic's foul last night, as we saw with Harry Kane, it's a little bit hit and miss. But Mexico, very early days, but they are starting to capture the imagination of the neutrals, and it's always good to have people like that behind you. We're about to kick off. Get out, get off, get off, get off. Come on, ref. Let's get it going. Mexico playing in white today. South Korea playing in red. Don't know why you couldn't do green against red. Some real weird kit decisions in this tournament so far. We've seen teams yesterday both playing in their away kits when you could have had red against yellow. And today we could have had green against red. Weird. So, Korea in red and Mexico in white and dark red shorts. There's your timer, everybody. And Mexico on the attack straight away here. Let's see how we go. Just knocking it about a bit. That's very important at this level as well. I mean, look at how bad Tunisia were in the lunchtime game. And I'm not comparing Mexico to Tunisia, not at all. But the way Mexico always like to pass the ball around, well-organised team. And that's going to be very important going forward through this game. 1 a.m. in Australia, says Lucas Esteves. Let's see how we go. Let's see how we go. My prediction was 2-0, Curtis. I went 2-0 to Mexico. So, and I'm more than happy if that's the reality. But I'm looking forward to watching Mexico. Looking forward to see what they're all about. Just gone through the back of Lozano here, which we don't want to see. He's up all right. Okay, that's a free kick. Lee on Lozano. Number 22, Lozano. Keep an eye out for him. He's playing down the left-hand side. A lot of people saying, well, he's not going to come to United anyway. I've been on about him for a couple of years, but he's not going to come to United. But he actually can play off the right-hand side and does play off the right-hand side quite a lot for PSV and did formerly do that in Mexico as well. So I think it's just the system here that it suits them to have him as a bit of an inverted player. But Korea will be competitive. This is going to be a really good game for Mexico because if you've got aspirations about going far into this tournament, these are the sort of teams you've got to beat because South Korea, they're no Tunisia, they're no Saudi Arabia. They're a good team. They're a very experienced World Cup team. Now, South Korea not really expected to get out of a group, but they're expected to always be a competitive team in the group stage, and they're certainly not whipping boys. So Lozano's had a couple of fouls on him already here. Lee, 2. He might have one more and then he's having a yellow card. Twice he's gone into the back of Lozano. One more, I think he'll be in the yellow. I think he'll be taking a yellow card. I give my 2-0 I've gone with. A lot of people saying that Lukaku's going to win the Golden Boot. I think it's going to be a really... like the World Cup in general. I think Wednesday was a bad day for the World Cup and Thursday a little bit, but that was saved by Croatia smashing Argentina. Yesterday was a good day and today has started off very well as well. Belgium getting us a few goals. But the... forgot what I was going to say now. The race for the Golden Boot is going to be fantastic, isn't it? Just saw on the side of the pitch there, McDonald's McDelivery. I don't think they deliver it in the Birmingham area. Has anybody got McDelivery where they live, or is it just a bit of a? They've not rolled it out everywhere yet now. Mexico keeper is a good keeper. It's Teal says Ochoa is an amazing goalkeeper. He is. He's very good. Pankaj wants Belgium to win the World Cup. People are talking about a co-host. I don't know why that's even a topic. And on Ireland, Supermax Deliver. Oh, I love Supermax. What was that one in Ireland as well? I used to really like it. I don't know whether it's still there. Abracadabra. That was bloody lovely. That's only relevant for the Irish people, but Abracadabra was like a little sort of takeaway place as well. Jared Pesserman says they deliver in America and it's amazing. And in Belfast, says Mark Young. How do they keep it warm though? That's my issue with it. Here's Mexico on the attack. Deep cross. He keeps it in. We'll talk a little bit about Mexico, obviously because Mexico are playing, but they're just on the attack here at the moment. But I am Team Mexico, as many people will know, and I do want to sort of educate people on what Mexico's all about. We'll talk about South Korea as well. It'd be wrong to do that, but yeah, keep your eye out for number 22, which is Lozano. Obviously, a lot of people will know Javier Hernandez. Carlos Vela, people will know him, formerly of Arsenal. But a lot of good players in their midst for Mexico. They've got a corner here. Don't know what they're doing, messing about really. They need to get the corner into the box. They've got to win today, Mexico. Do not let Germany back in, because if Mexico can top this group, they've got a great chance of getting to the quarterfinals. Goalkeeper, Ocho plays for Standard Liège. I know a lot of people are always interested where they play. Nothing comes to the corner, and South Korea should get this away. And that's we'll play on. Looking to hit on the break. Here they are on the break. Good defensive play there from Lozano, who doesn't go up for corners. He plays on the edge because he's the small player. Gallardo plays for Monterrey. Marino plays for Real Sociedad. This is their back four. Salcido plays for Eintracht Frankfurt. And Alvarez plays for America, so he isn't local. And then you've got the midfield, which is Herrera and Guardado, Leon, Vela. Herrera plays for Porto, Hector Herrera. Guardado plays for Real Betis. Chicharito plays for West Ham, as we know. Lozano plays for PSV. Vela plays for LAFC. And Leon. Another foul there by South Korea. Plays for Sevilla. Yeah, South Korea are definitely going to be looking to hit Mexico on the break, but Mexico have got a lot to live up to in this game. A lot of people who think they're quite like them. So let's see what they're all about. Cross comes in. Nothing doing. He needs to be careful, Lee, number 2 for South Korea. He's not on a yellow card yet, but I don't think he's going to be far off. Another corner for Mexico. You wonder whether Mexico really got the heights to hurt people from corners. Need the 2 centre-backs up there. South Korea clear it again. So it started off the way we thought it would. Right, McDonald's don't deliver to me. I was just having a look there. Because it's up to 1.5 miles and I'm 2.5 miles away, so that's a pain in the arse, isn't it? Not that I was necessarily thinking about having that tonight, but it would be nice to have it as an option every now and again. 1.5 miles. I refute that anyway. I don't think I'm 2.5 miles away from it. But as the crow flies, I think it's less. But as the car drives, maybe it is. Another free kick to Mexico. Anvish, you've not missed anything yet. Nothing key anyway. Ooh, just headed wide there with the flick on from Hernandez. unorthodox is old Hernandez, isn't it? Maliki, who's going to win the World Cup? Says Maliki Hickling. Let us know in the live comments who's going to win the World Cup. For me, at the moment, it's just ridiculously difficult to predict. I think teams like Belgium are doing well, but they've played a couple of pub teams. I want to see Belgium play a decent team. I wouldn't be predicting they're going to win the World Cup based off beating Panama and Tunisia. I think some of the better teams probably haven't turned up yet. Be interesting to see what Germany are like tonight. Either that was a brilliant tackle or it should be 1-0. Chip to the back post on the volley. And the ref's pulled up the play now because I think there's an injury to a Mexican. But I thought this was going to be a goal. But the brilliant defending by Lozano, but he might have put himself in a bit of bother doing it. Chipped onto the back post. He's about 6 yards out, the South Korean. I think it might be Lee. It is Lee. And Lozano just throws himself at it. And I think he catches part of the volley of Lee as he's kicking it. I think he kicks a bit of Lozano as well. But it's very brave and it stops what could have been a certain goal, to be honest. Does he catch it on the volley? No. Lozano actually gets there first. The player doesn't. The South Korean doesn't even get it. So brilliant bit of defensive play from Lozano, as Jordan Thompson's just said there. And you know what? Mourinho would bloody love him because his defensive play is superb, isn't it? I think he's on a yellow card though, isn't he? So he might want to get a yellow card in this game and miss the Sweden game if they win it. I was told about Lozano about 2 years ago. I did a video on the United stand, literally probably about 2 years ago when he was playing in Mexico, and United were tentatively linked to him. So I did a bit of research on him, spoke to a couple of people who'd seen him play in Mexico, and they were like, he actually does get likened to George Best, which is a bit of a weird player to be likened to, considering George Best hasn't played football for years. But they said no. He's the way he glides across the ground, his close ball control, snake hips and all that. So he's a player that I like the look of, and he works really really hard. He's just worked back to get the ball there. He'll be playing in Barcelona soon. He definitely will. Fred the Red keeps mixing up the colours of the teams. Yep, so white for Mexico, red for South Korea. It has been a bit confusing this World Cup, the way teams are in their away kits and home kits. But Mexico might need to be a little bit patient in this game. South Korea are going to play deep, hit on the break. They did the same against Sweden. And Mexico is going to have to be patient. And it'll do them good. If they can come through this game and win it, it will do them good, because it's not always going to be underdogs. You're not always going to be the underdogs in this tournament. And if you want to win it, you've got to beat all sorts of teams. So, and I like Mexico. I like the way they're just popping the ball about. Defensively sound, patient with the ball, but probing. And the corner again. They've had a few corners, Mexico. I don't know really if they've got the height to cause enough problems, but maybe they do. Maybe they do. Gallardo is the left back who's bombing on behind Lozano when he tucks inside. Marino and Alvarez will come up for this. Another corner to Mexico. And it comes. And the keeper's got it. The weird looking goalkeeper for South Korea. His hair. It's his hair more than anything, isn't it? Remember to subscribe if you're new. We're trying to get to 38,000 subscribers today. We're about 32 short. So please share the video. Get involved. We're live for every World Cup game with a watch along. So if you are watching World Cup games and you want a bit of chat and interaction, get involved on That's Football. We're building a really good community throughout this World Cup. Thanks everyone who's tuning in again. Remember, we've got Germany-Sweden tonight. Hernandez is onside, but the keeper's come out the box. Watch for that. Watch for Hernandez, the spin and run. IE says that Mexico have got finishing problems. They've not had a chance yet, to be fair. Annie Rudd says that Brazil are going to go out. If they lose to Serbia, they're out, aren't they? My favourite World Cup game so far is still Spain-Portugal, and it will take some beating. That was just an absolutely cracking game. Who's been Mexico's best player so far? Probably Lozano, but probably because of his efforts and his work rate defensively more than anything that's been done offensively at the moment. But Mexico are starting to get a rhythm. South Korea are getting a lot of players behind the ball, which is a bit annoying because it's park the bus football and they should be having more of a go against a team like Mexico. Lewis Hamilton's on pole. Good. Nicholas Myers, thanks for that. I won't get to see the Formula 1 this weekend. I'm gutted. England, innit? What time's the Formula 1 start tomorrow? What time's the race? I bet it's on when England are on. What's my take on the game, David? As I just said, South Korea playing very much on the break and men behind the ball, which is fine, but obviously it means Mexico going to have to be a little bit patient, a little bit careful on the break. The best thing that could happen in this game is if Mexico get a goal, because South Korea will have to open up a little bit because they've lost their first game, but if South Korea were to get the first goal, it would just be more of the same. It's Teal, yeah. Lozano is Mourinho's style of player, definitely. His work rate down the flanks is brilliant, but I don't think United will be in for him, even though he is a Mino Raiola client, and United like to do business with him. Karga says that England are going to get wrecked by Belgium. How much do you want to put on that? I bet they don't. Belgium have played a couple of pub teams. They're not all that defensively. They're not all that. Anyway, they'll both be through by then. Anyway, it starts at 3:10 apparently. The F1, so England will be done by then, which is good. Keep an eye on that then. Here's Lozano. There was, to be fair, there was talk of Lozano going to Man City. So I'd always keep an eye on that. He ended up going to PSV, but there was a rumour he was going to go to Man City last summer. So that means that Pep's got an eye on him. Oh, he should have gone left there. There's two Mexican players there. One down off the ball, one down on the ball. Anyway, I'm loving this Saturday so far. I hope you are. This is what Saturdays are all about, isn't it? I mean, you can't be... I personally love a lovely UK autumnal Saturday in October where it's a little bit cold outside. You got Soccer Saturday on. But anyway, Sweden are in here. They're not. Oh, two great blocks there from Mexicans. Son, keeper had even dived for one. That's good defending for you. This is a good thing we're seeing about Mexico here. Chucking their bodies in the way of things. Really good play. I thought Son handballed this, but... he didn't. It was on his chest. Good play by Son. Gets two shots away in the box. Both get blocked by Mexican defenders. And that's without making it through to the goalkeeper. So, good play there. Son of Spurs, of course. But it's working for South Korea a little bit. They're hitting them on the way. They're hitting them on the break. Hugh Janus says, yes, no goal for Korea. Anyone supporting South Korea in the live comments anyway, because that's football is for everybody and everybody's welcome here. Doesn't matter what club, team you support, what nation you support, where you're from. Let us know where you are from actually in the live comments. But is anyone supporting the South Koreans? I made a slip of the tongue. I did say Sweden when South Korea were on the attack. And Sweden are at 7 o'clock. Yes, it was a mistake. Crispin wants a South Korea win. Go South Korea, he says. Mick Deb says that Belgium look a bit better than Mexico to me. Belgium would be the favourites against Mexico. Yeah, they would. They're the better players. But France would be massive favourites against Mexico as well. But I think Mexico would beat France because Mexico play as a team. They've got a system. Got to get rid of that quick. Oh, yes. They're on the break here. Into the box. Hernandez. Oh! So close. The cross came in and Hernandez was stretching. He couldn't get his foot on it. That's what Mexico can do on the break if they catch South Korea out. But South Korea have got all their men back now. Here's Hernandez out on the wing. Little chuck through. Handball! Penalty! Yes! Mexico get a penalty. I'm sorry, you shouldn't celebrate it like that, should you? I shouldn't celebrate it like that. Basically, a little slip in by Hernandez into the box. I don't know who it was for Mexico, but he goes to put the cross in. It's number 18. And, oh, his hand's right up in the air. That is a penalty. It's a little bit unlucky. Little bit unlucky. But his hand's up as he slides and it stops the cross. It was Guardado with the cross. It's a stone wall penalty, that is. Stone wall penalty. Basically, cross is coming in. Ball travels about 5 yards. The South Korean is sliding in, but his hand's up in the air. It's going to be Vela who takes the penalty. Not Chicharito. Mark's not biased at all, says Bio. Yeah, I did let that one go a little bit, didn't I? I want Mexico to do well. Mexico were the team that I said I think they could have a really good World Cup and Lozano could be the breakout star. So I want them to do well. They've got to score the penalty first. But it was 100% a penalty to Lloyd. Anybody think it wasn't a penalty? Let us know in the live comments. But I thought that was, we didn't need VAR for that. His hand's in the air sliding. It stops the cross. It's he shouldn't have his hand up in the air like that. So definite penalty for me. Let's see if he can score it. Vela's going to miss, says Mark J. Stanley stands for Mexico. South Korea guy was hailing a taxi, says Paul Duffy. It was a bit like that. His hand was up. There's not even been much argument from the South Koreans, to be fair. I don't know why Chicharito doesn't take the penalties, Pankaj. We're taking a bit of time taking this one. Silence. Still waiting to take it. This goalkeeper's a bit of a standout goalkeeper, though. I wouldn't be surprised if he saves it. He's quite memorable. No, he didn't save it. 1-0 to Mexico. Vela sends him the wrong way. And I think this is good for the game. Whether you want Mexico to win or not, it's good for the game. Because it will, it gives them... South Korea can't sit back now. And I think that was something that was annoying me a little bit. Was how defensive they were playing. So Mexico have got a goal in the first 25 minutes has flown by, hasn't it? You think about that Belgium game. That's flown by, that first 25 minutes. Nice little penalty. Went quite central, but did send the keeper the wrong way. So, interesting start and a good start for Mexico. 1-0 up. Viva Mexico, says Hugh Janus. Mexico top the group now, says Anthony Martial. I told you Mexico would have a great World Cup and beat Germany, says Chenko. I don't actually remember you saying that. I remember me saying it, but if you were part of that club as well, well done. We're all starting to... Mexico are fast becoming everyone's sort of favourite sort of team that they... maybe their second team, so long may it continue. Imagine if Mexico won like 3 or 4-0. They'd suddenly be everyone's favourites. You don't want to peak too soon, though. You don't want to peak too soon. Lozano, good little play there. He's a hard worker, Lozano. That's the thing that stands out to me. Oh, it's opened up again here. Oh, just over the bar. He should have scored. Should have scored there. Lovely little bit of play here from Vela. Charged into the box and laid it off. I think it was Herrera, wasn't it? Lays it off and he should get that on target. Over the bar. Keeper actually got his hand on it. It's a corner. So it's all Mexico at the moment. Douglas Costa's out of the Serbia game since Mr. D7 with an injury. So Willian will play again. And the keeper's caught that cross. It's a weird question from Karga. He says, how come Germany qualified for the World Cup? They qualify for every World Cup. It's not a surprise that Germany qualify. Lloyd says, I think Senegal is better than Mexico. It was Leon who missed that chance, number 7. I don't even know. I don't think the keeper actually got a hand on it. It was going over anyway. See you in a bit, Liam. Have a good one. Hopefully you're going to join us for Germany-Sweden. That's tonight's game. I'm excited about Germany-Sweden because I think that would be a massive shock if Sweden won that. But I'm a Manchester United fan and I'm looking forward to seeing Lindelof play in that game and see how he does because I think he can be the answer for United at centre-back. Marvin Millen says, I love Lozano. I've known about him for 2 years now. United was supposed to buy 2 years ago and City was supposed to buy him last season. Marvin, are you taking the piss? I've literally just said all of that in the last 15 minutes. But I think this is a good game. South Korea are a very, very energetic team and they'll keep fighting. And it's a very good test of their credentials for Mexico. It's not going to be a walk in the park, this game. They've got that early goal. That should open it up a little bit. But South Korea are a hard-working team. I'll keep saying this. They may not be a team that's going to get through the group stage, but they're no Saudi Arabia. They're no Tunisia. They're a good team and they work really hard. And they'll keep working hard and they'll keep going. And Mexico are going to get a good workout here. Oh, that's a poor ball out the back. A free kick. Luca, what other YouTube channel do I watch? Well, there's a brilliant other YouTube channel that I watch a lot. It's called The United Stand, and then that's about it. Damien Gasson, I love this comment. He says, my ex-girlfriend was German, so I'm supporting Sweden. But brilliant. What a comment. What a comment. What do I think of Nigeria versus Argentina? You know what? I'm not that bothered. I'm not that bothered because if Argentina win that, they're still going to have to play France in the first knockout stage. So I'm not bothered. I hope Nigeria win, but if Argentina do, they're going to have to play France in the next game. XB Roughneck says, Carlos Vela and LAFC, come watch us, Mark. MLS doesn't suck. I was really hoping to be coming to America. So it's a great film with Eddie Murphy, by the way. I was really looking forward to coming to America at the end of July, but I've got a couple of things that maybe look like it's not going to happen. But I'm hoping United are going to keep doing the the American tours because I do want to get over there. Decent free kick over the bar. Sean Atwood says the commentator in the US for this game is more annoying than standing in an ant pile. I mean, Mexico, America, Donald Trump, we're going political, but you know what? What do Americans think about Mexicans and what do Mexicans think about Americans? I know we've got a lot of Americans who do tune into the United Stand and this channel. So if we have got any Americans, what's your relationship with Mexico? Do you like Mexico in general? Is there a bit of bad feeling? Is there a bit of rivalry? You know, in England, we've got the Scottish who generally dislike us and the English really don't care about the Scottish. I would always want Scotland to do well in the World Cup, whereas many Scottish people would want England to get embarrassed. But what's the relationship between America and Mexico? Let us know. Mark Young says, I'm Irish, but a lot of my ancestry are from Germany, so I've always been a German fan. Mark Young, good. There's something about Germany for me that I've always wanted to warm to them, but I never really do. And to be honest with you know what it is? I think it's to do with my granddad, who just couldn't stand Germany because of the war, because he lived through the war, and he didn't like them. And I'm not like that. It's, you've got to move on, and I know a lot of Germans and stuff, but there's something about Germany that I've never really warmed to. I think personally, for me, it's because they're very similar to England. Their players, their culture. I think they're very similar to England. They're just a much more successful and efficient England. I mean, having said that, Schweinsteiger was one of my favourite players ever. So I've never really, I can't ever say I've ever supported Germany. I'd want them to batter France. No, I don't really like France, to be honest. As a football team, I know I like France, the country, but the football team annoys the shit out of me because they haven't took Martial. Samuel says, do you see Mexico winning the group over Germany? Because then it'll be interesting because Brazil will face Germany. Yeah, I'd like to see that happening. If you like other people from different cultures, then you love Mexico, says Rickamank. I don't mind Mexico, but I think Trump has made a lot of them not like us, says Jacob Hexamar. And that's a very interesting thing, isn't it? Because... oh, no, we're not doing politics. Trump's building a wall, says Sebastian Suglas. I like Mexican, probably because I'm Italian and they think I'm Mexican too, says Don Roberto. I like Mexico because they absolutely love their football. And that, for me, football is always the great bringing people together, isn't it? And I judge countries on their football, to be honest. And I've always liked Mexico. I've always liked... there's been numerous World Cups where they've turned up and maybe they've not done that well, but they do. They always play in a certain way, Mexico, even when they're underdogs. I can't remember if it was the last tournament or the tournament before. They played really, really well. They got knocked out by one of the big teams. Maybe it was Germany, but they played really well. XB Rook, Nerfneck says, I like Carlos Vela, Chicharito and Lozano, but as an American soccer fan, I do not like Mexican soccer. I also don't like the Mexican keeper chant. Thanks for the contribution, pal. Sammy Harper, I did see that video of the Senegal fans cleaning the stadium after the game, which was weird, but like you say, it was also amazing that they have that sort of mentality. Connor Ellis says, my second team is Iceland. Yeah, I can understand that, but they've got no chance of getting out of the group, I don't think, now. They just don't score enough goals, do they? Holland knocked Mexico out last World Cup, says no, Din, out me. Well, what I can say is this game has flown by much quicker than the Belgium game. It's always better when it's closer, isn't it? And South Korea is certainly... I'm glad Mexico scored, not because I want Mexico to win, but actually in the way the game's going, South Korea are not playing so defensive now. They're having to come out a bit, which is opening up the game a bit. And South Korea are probably more on top at the moment because they are going for it a little bit. They're a very energetic team, South Korea, and they're very, very physical as well. So it's opened the game up nicely. Here's Mexico, though. Cross comes in. Ooh. Well cleared. Chenko says that the Croatian manager has said he's going to rest players because they can't be caught, can they? They can't be caught, Croatia, because they've got 6 points. Argentina 1, Iceland 1, and Nigeria 3. I still think Iceland, even if they win, though, they still need things to go their way. Mark, why do you hate Piqué? I don't hate Piqué. I don't hate Gerard Piqué. He used to play for United. I like Piqué. He's all right. Germany and France are just the upgraded version of England, let's be honest, says 300. I certainly think Germany are. Gerard Lusher says, I'm half Irish, half Austrian, but neither of them qualified, so I'm up for Mexico. I think that's the great thing about the World Cup as well, because I had this in '94. It's the first proper World Cup I really watched every game was '94. I do remember 1990, but I was very young, and it was very much about England, and I wouldn't have spent a lot of time watching lots of different games. '94, England weren't even there, so I supported Ireland and Italy, and Brazil were fantastic, but I wasn't really supporting them. I wanted Italy, and so even if your country's not in it, like Ireland or Scotland, you can adopt a team for the World Cup, because it is that sort of a festival of football, isn't it? Mexico's not a bad team to adopt. What do we think about Jamaica? Lovely country, but they're not in the World Cup. And they were in the World Cup, weren't they? What was the World Cup that Jamaica qualified? Was it the one where Peter Crouch grabbed his hair to score the header? So that would have been, was it 2010? Or was it 6? Oh, they made a right mistake here, South Korea, but they've managed to get rid of it. Trying to play out from the back. What are teams that are limited? What team anyway is playing out from the back? Look at the speed of Son here. It's ridiculous. And Ocha does really, really well. But he is fast, Son, there. He just pulled away from the centre-back. And fortunately, he lost control of it slightly and the goalkeeper was out. But the speed of Son, that's blistering pace. And he just cannot stay with him. He's pulling away and away and away. And it gave the keeper the chance just to slip out. Now, Jamaica were in the World Cup before '98, Paul Young. Living in the land of the common people. On a power of man. Jamaica were in a World Cup before '98. What was that one where Peter Crouch scored the winner and he pulled his hair down? Maybe it wasn't Jamaica. I'm pretty sure it was a Caribbean country though. Thanks, Robert, Cunningham. That was Trinidad and Tobago. See, I knew it was somebody from the Caribbean. Yeah, he pulled his hair, didn't he? Didn't he have like long dreads in a sort of tied back, and Crouch jumped, pulled his hair and scored. We've got Paul Young in the live comments anyway. Paul Young always gives me the opportunity to do Paul Young songs from the 80s. Wherever I lay my head, that's my home. Rubbish. I normally do better than that. And if a double-decker bus crashes into us, to die by your side, what a heavenly way to die. Oh, there is a light and it never goes out. There is a light and it... That's a bit of Morrissey or the Smiths for you. I love doing Paul Young and Morrissey. I'm not very good at it, but I quite like it. You know Sander Sagers? My other half was saying, where's Sander from with hair like that? Is he like Dutch or something? I said, well, yeah. But that doesn't... Why would he have hair like that? Dutch people don't necessarily grow their curly hair long. But are you related to Hans Sagers, who used to play in goal for Nottingham Forest in the late 80s and Wimbledon? There's a question for you, Xander. And people will be on Google now. Who's Hans Sagers? He was a goalkeeper. He played in goal for Forest in the late 80s and he went to Wimbledon. Is that your dad, Xander? Everyone telling me to shut up with my singing. You're just too young. You're just too young. You don't know who Paul Young is, and you don't know who Morrissey is. So if you knew, you'd know. Although Amaconda says you're killing Morrissey. Yeah, I am. Apparently we're 5 subscribers away from 38,000. So if you are new to the channel, ignore the singing. That never normally happens. We are doing every single World Cup game as a watch along. So join the community. We do have a bit of banter. We do have a bit of laugh. There's not been any debate points in this game so far, but oh boy. Forget match of the day. Forget whatever you're watching, whatever country you're in. If there is a debate point, get yourself on that. Well, get yourself on the watch along anyway, but VAR, fouls, anything like that, it goes off big time. What a run by Lozano over the bar. Could have scored one of the great goals of the World Cup there. Skipping into the box, shoots over the bar. Didn't quite have the finish. That would have been a cracker, wouldn't it, John Chris? Sander looks like Rabiot from PSG with his hair down, says Alec Dukas. I like it. It's a good one. It's a good one. We've hit 38,000 subscribers, so we've obviously got a few newbies on the show today. You're very welcome. Get involved. Every single World Cup game, we're doing a watch-along on here. And it's been a great day so far. Belgium with a load of goals. Lukaku going for the golden boots. This first half has flown by, which to me shows it's been a really good game. A real chess match. Good goal, penalty, spot on. Probably the first penalty of the tournament so far where people haven't been moaning. It was a penalty. And I don't know where my wig is, Damien Gasson, to be honest. But it definitely was a penalty. Mexico leading 1-0. But that's opened the game up. South Korea were playing on the break a lot and playing quite defensive. They've now got to open up because South Korea lose this game. South Korea go home. So, although not definitely yet, they've got Germany to play in their last game. And if Germany win tonight, they'd be on 3 points with Sweden. But they would need Mexico to beat Sweden and then South Korea to beat Germany. So realistically, South Korea need to get something in this game or they're going home. Anvish says, which team has surprised you most in the World Cup so far? Well, that's the sort of thing I like to open up to the live comments. And I'll leave it a few minutes while people answer that. But Son's been impressive in this game, which isn't surprising. He's a very, very good player. Yeah, Xander's done a fantastic job so far. Really, really good job. And we'll do a 40,000 subscriber special. Who knows? We could hit 40,000 subscribers during the World Cup. We've got a plan for next week anyway. A lot of people talking about co-commentators and stuff. As we go into the latter stages of the group games, me and Xander are going to do a few shows together as well. But obviously still be massively interacting with you lot. Who scored for Mexico? It was a Vela penalty. Mexico were Hugh Janis's surprise. Jordan Thompson says Croatia. Raj says Switzerland. John Massey says Russia. Sammy Harper says Russia. A lot of people saying congratulations for 38,000 subscribers. Yeah, please keep sharing the video. Keep getting involved if you're new. You don't always get a notification through YouTube, but make sure you subscribe to the channel, bottom right hand corner. But just know, every single World Cup game, get yourself on YouTube, get on That's Football. We will be live, interactive and chatting away. And I think the thing I've loved the most about these live comments and the live watch-alongs we've done is that, especially with like the VAR moments, we've had so many different opinions on big topics that it's great just to get that debate running, isn't it? And not just the VAR, Messi's performances. You know, what's gone wrong there? It's been really, really interesting. Anyway, we're nearly at half time. Pankaj says Mexico. I mean, for me, Mexico haven't been a surprise package. I think the Germany result was a surprise in some ways, but I predicted Mexico would get out the group. I thought Mexico could do well in this tournament. They're slightly ahead of where I thought they would be, but I did think they could do well. I think my shock of the tournament so far as teams go probably is Switzerland, as somebody said, because yes, they're ranked 6 in the world, but I look at Switzerland, I think Xhaka, I mean, he's just a B-Tech Darren Fletcher. Shaqiri on his day can be good, but is woefully inconsistent. And then who else have they got? Rodriguez is a good left back, but Switzerland, you know, thoroughly deserved their win. Thoroughly deserved their draw against Brazil and look like they're going to go through that group. So Switzerland, to me, are the shock of the tournament for me. But the more teams that we get like that, the better, because I want to see that in the World Cup. I want to see teams that are capable in this World Cup going through to the knockout stages, playing some of the more established teams, and getting far. And you think about Peru against France. They should have won that game. But they had nothing in the final third. I think when France plays like teams like Switzerland or Croatia in the knockout stages, they ain't going to get away with playing how they're playing. They're going to get knocked out because teams like Switzerland and Croatia have got the quality in the final third. So I'm very excited about the knockout stage, and I just hope that we do see more of these teams from the the less fancied teams keep progressing. That's what I want to see. We're at half time anyway, and it's 1-0 to Mexico. Vela with the penalty. And my bet is Mexico win. I go in support of Korea because I know if I am support Mexico, my bet's going to get burned, says Crispin. Got to shoot back to work. Break time well spent. Cheers, mate, says Robert Cunningham. Enjoy the rest of your work shift, Roberts. I know, but I've donated a lot and have supported them from the start, says Sammy Harper. Don't know what he's on about there. Is there a bit of a problem? All right, okay. I know what he's on about. My prediction was 2-0, Anvish. Mexico are definitely going to win, says Hugh Janus. I've just seen what you're doing with your name there. Look. I don't think this game's over yet. I don't think it's over. I think South Korea are dangerous. And Mexico are getting the workout I wanted them to get. It's one thing beating Germany, and it's a very good thing to beat Germany. But today is a different challenge. Today they are the favourites. And today they're having to battle very, very, very hard. So I don't think it's over yet. And Mexico need to work. Work. I really hope a team like Belgium wins it. I said from the beginning Spain will win it, but I don't want them to, says Alec Ducas. You know what? If Belgium weren't managed by Roberto Martinez, I'd probably want them to win it more. But what I will say is, if it's a choice between France, Germany, Spain and Belgium every time. I want a team to win this World Cup who's never won it before, or England, who've never really won it properly, apart from when it was in 66 in our own backyard. Nothing's over till it's over, says Unknown Man. Germany v Sweden prediction, says Sophie. Hairdryer treatment in the live comments. I can't say mine because I'm not allowed to say mine until the game kicks off because I don't want people copying my prediction. But that's a great game. Germany-Sweden is a great game. Obviously, it's the second great game from this group. If the score stays the same here, Mexico have 6 points. And Germany will really struggle to catch them, which means that if Germany do qualify, they're probably going to qualify as second place, which means they're probably going to play Brazil in the first knockout stage, which means we lose Germany and Brazil. Sweden, if Sweden pulled off a shock and beat Germany, Germany are out. If Sweden get a draw, Germany are in trouble. So Germany have got to win against Sweden tonight. From my point of view, I think Germany probably will win, but I also think that Sweden can defend. So it's going to be really interesting. But as Baron Death says, Germany must win. It's a must. It's more than that. They must win it. They must win it. They got to win this game. Mexico versus Belgium final, says Anthony Muller. I'd have some of that. Crispin's got 27.5 points in Super Brew. That sounds like a high score to me, Kristen. Big D says Mexico are dark horses to win this. They are, but I'll tell you now, as somebody who wants Mexico to do well, I'll tell you where Mexico are going to struggle. 1, squad depth. 2, fatigue. You watch them in the last 20 minutes of this game, they might have a problem. They might have a problem with fitness. They did against Germany. They were hanging out. They were blowing out their arse. That's really where they might have a problem because the fitness levels of the European teams are better than a lot of other teams. And also, South Korea, they're very, very fit. So let's see what happens in the last 20 minutes of this game. Croatia are a good team, says Kevin O'Callaghan. Imagine Croatia with Lukaku up front. I said it the other night when we were watching Croatia. I think their whole team is brilliant. Their only position that I would change is Mandzukic up front, who does a good job, but he hasn't got the pace of an out ball. You know, every now and again you're under the cosh, You want to just hit a ball into the other half for your striker to chase, and Mandzukic hasn't got the pace to do that. If Croatia had a striker like Lukaku, they'd be laughing. They're not likely to have a striker like Lukaku, though, are they? Because thinking about it, I don't know why, and I don't want to get political, but I don't think there is one player who's non-white for Croatia. Is that because of immigration, or what? Why is that? That's just come into my head. Why is that? Why do the Balkan states not have many players like that? Everyone will fear Croatia, says Mini Diver. They will. How do I think Serbia will do, Kevin? I think they're going to go out, but I think they could beat Brazil. I think that's arguably the game of the week next week. Serbia against, so far, we've still got some groups to finish. Who scored, Mark? Just watched a bit of Lewis Hamilton at the French Grand Prix, says Dean. I wish I was watching a bit of the French Grand Prix, but I can't this weekend. I stand corrected, says Anvish. Croatia has got Andre Kramaric. Good to know. Eduardo da Silva as well. N1 unknown man. Yes, you did. Very good point. Imagine if Belgium had Zidane as their manager. Jordan Thompson says the Balkans didn't have slavery. It's a bit weird, Jordan. I mean, there's a lot of black players who play for England, and we didn't have slavery either. We basically had a couple of world wars that wiped out a lot of our males, and we went cap in hand to places like India and Jamaica and asked people to come over here and work, and that's why 50, 60 years on, you've got third generation Jamaican Indians who are British citizens playing football for our national team, which is immigration, which is the positive side of it. But I just wondered why in other countries don't seem to be as diverse yet as others. I mean, you look at France, you look at England, you look at numerous others. I mean, Spain don't have many either, do they? So what do people not emigrate to Spain and go and live there? Maybe they'll get a few. I imagine in 20 years' time, you'll get a few Spanish players who are called Pat and Mark and people like that. You know, these people who've gone and lived as expats out in the Costa del Sol. IE says Mexico's got to be more careful. South Korea came close. Wilf, I'm not asking the question to be controversial. I just think that as a diverse footballing community, it's I'm interested in that sort of thing. I'm interested in history, and I'm interested in demographics of countries, and I'm interested to know. I've moved away from the Balkans now. I've moved to Spain. What? How come Spain don't either? There doesn't. You've got to be careful about your choice of words, but. Integration of second and third generation people who've come into the country, because I don't really like the word immigrant either. Marcus Senna was, yes, Andre Jack, but you know what I mean. It's not as widespread as it is in a country like France. France are very, very diverse in their team. I mean, a lot of them are French as well, like I say, second and third generations, but. In other countries, it's not the same. And some Spanish person could be in the live comments and say, actually, we don't have a lot of immigration into our country, and that's probably why it's reflected like that. And that's the answer, isn't it? I don't have the answer. Sometimes we talk about your favourite packet of crisps. Sometimes I want to be educated. Brazil versus Mexico for semi-finals, says Wira. How do you feel Italy would be performing had they made the World Cup, says Aidan Banks? I think they'd be performing like Argentina. I think they'd struggle. Because that's why they're not in the World Cup. I think if you put Netherlands in here, they'd be getting smashed. They're rubbish. The World Cup is making me excited for the new season, says Red Jedi. Good point from Kevin. He says immigration happens in more economically affluent countries. That's why we don't see so much diversity in certain teams. Portugal is diverse too, says Andre. Yeah, but Portugal's not particularly wealthy. Alec Dukas is going to the Eastern Europe this summer and he's going to do some investigating for us. Well, maybe, Alec, you want to pick that up in a couple of months on a Champions League watch-along on here and we can revisit that. Mexico problem is being able to field a fixed starting 11, says Wirra. Good point. Hopefully the Czechs and Irish make the Euros and the World Cup, says Mark. I'm sure you will. I think everyone's invited to the next Euros and the World Cup. Aren't we inviting like 56 teams or something ridiculous like that? Most players in Switzerland are not Swiss. Don't know. Spain, high young unemployment might be a factor, Mark, says Damien Gasson. And I've never been to India, Pankaj. I would like to. I've got family members who've been. Cool Guy says that Korea are better than Mexico. It's not been an imbalanced half. I think it's been an interesting half. And apparently Lukaku's got ligament damage and is a doubt to face England. I wouldn't risk him, would you? They're already 6 points clear. They're already qualified. And they've got Batshuayi who can play up front. And they are definitely qualified. So I wouldn't risk Lukaku. It's a bit of a shame in his golden boot quest. But I wouldn't play him. Adi says he thinks Mexico are going to win. Well, I've enjoyed that half-time chat. Anyway, I know some people like to steer clear of politics and things like that, but football has a real history of slipping into politics. And you know what? I don't have the answer to everything. That sounds like I want to have the answer to everything. I don't want to have the answer to everything. I want to educate myself. And I think a lot of people are like that. And football's one of the few things where you can be fans of different clubs, like we are here on That's Football. And we can all, have a community where we discuss things. And it was only last night in the Switzerland-Serbia game when I'd finished the watch-along and I was looking on social media at the contentious ways that Xhaka and Shaqiri celebrated, because I believe they are of Kosovan background. And obviously we had the Balkan War, didn't we, with Serbia? And that caused a lot of issues, and there was some political statements last night. And it's like, you don't really want to see that in football. Who's right, who's wrong? I don't know. Jared Pesserman, impossible to say he has ligament damage that fast, says Jared Pesserman. Yeah, you're probably right with that. Mexico, like Spain, cannot finish small teams off, says Weira619. Look, I think we're jumping the gun a little bit here. I mean, Mexico have not dominated. They've not had 3 or 4 clear-cut chances. They've had a penalty. They've scored it. South Korea have been competitive. I think it's quite an equal game when Mexico are in front at the moment. I certainly don't think we can jump to the conclusion just yet that Mexico have wasted chances or anything like that. I think it's a good game for them. Albanian background, says Weira. Thank you. And Andrew Rossi, I like this comment because he says football has a way of bringing people of different backgrounds together. And what a great statement that is, because where is this World Cup? Russia. Have Russia had problems in the past in relation to hooliganism at the last Euros? Has Russia had contentious issues about racism in stadiums? Yes, it has. However, we've got countries from Africa, Asia, South America, Europe, in Russia, and everybody you speak to and everybody you see who's out in Russia, it's positive, 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 which is great, absolutely great. And there's a lot of mistrust about Russia. There are a lot of mistrusts about Russia. And I think they've, at the moment, and why should it change, they're hosting a really great community at this World Cup. And as that Andrew said there, football's got this great ability to pull people together. And it's been a fantastic World Cup in that sense. And, I think everybody's very easy. When things go wrong, people are very, very quick to jump on things, whether it's whatever it is, people can't wait to knock somebody down. And when something's going well, people are just like, oh yeah, well it should do. But, you know, I think it's important to remember that the World Cup so far has been absolutely fantastic. Anyway, second half's about to kick off. This has been my favourite game of the day. I know Belgium smashed Tunisia and we got a lot of goals for the first time, really, from one of the favourites. But this is a really good game. And South Korea know they've got 45 minutes to get back into it. I wouldn't be shocked if this ended in a draw. I think for the group, we need Mexico to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if it finished in a draw, which would leave whatever way this result goes, this group is a very interesting group. So Mexico to kick it off, they've had a battle on. South Korea can work hard. I think South Korea are probably one of the hardest working teams in international football. They really, really, really do work hard. Of course, Ji-sung Park used to play for South Korea, former Manchester United player. And I think he epitomises what South Koreans are about, really. Just boundless energy, work rate, and they never stop. And it's hard. It's hard. I'm sure Sophie's in the live comments, so I don't want to talk about... I can see a few people talking about the female presenter on ITV saying she's doing a good job, and then we had that John Terry incident, didn't we, last week? Was it Iran versus Morocco, where they had the female commentating? I can happily say I don't have the audio on because I'm doing the watch-along, so I don't put the audio on because I don't want to be influenced by it, and also it puts me off. I want to interact with you lot. That's my... interaction, so all I'm ever doing is watching the game, so I cannot make any comments on anything like that. But what I would say is that why shouldn't there be a woman on the panel? I think Jermaine Genius is brilliant as a pundit. I think it's absolutely superb that they finally got somebody on who's never played football, because, you know, he's doing it for the fans, Jermaine Genius, isn't he? It's 38 degrees in Trinidad, says Mick Deb. I'll have some of that. It's about to get hot in the UK. We've had a couple of days where it's been okay, and I think from Monday we're going to get a bit of a heat wave for a couple of weeks. But it's been okay for 2 days. Over 1,000 people watching. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're doing every game as a watch along. So lots and lots of chat going on. Really enjoying the World Cup, and get involved with it. Subscribe, bottom right hand corner. And just know that we are live for every World Cup game with a watch along. So get involved. Oh, the timer. Sorry. Let me get that going. What are we on? Bloody hell. I'm late on this one. I'm normally very set up. There we go. 2 minutes 40 into the second half. I knew someone would fall for that. Jennis played football. I know he did. But he wasn't very good. It's freezing in Barnsley, says Dean Sidder. Red Jedi says, is anyone else from Maryland? Brian says that Brian Robadoo, I like that name, says the game is over. I'd say it's about 20 degrees here in where I am, which is Midlands, UK, Midlands, England. I'm always inclusive, you see. I said UK there, but I don't want to upset the Scots or the Welsh or the Northern Irish, so I'll be representative of England in this World Cup. But I always use UK. Don't ever say Ireland's part of the British Isles, though. That'll get you in loads of trouble. I lived in Ireland for 3 years, so I can say these sort of things, because I think when you've lived in Ireland for 3 years, the Republic of Ireland, then you sort of qualify a little bit as being Irish. So my best man's Irish. It's great. You know, I know a lot of Americans go to Dublin on your tours in the summer. You can't move around in Dublin Fair City for American tour buses in the summer, but it's a lovely place to go, Ireland. And as I always say, I know a few lads who they go to Ireland. Oh yeah, we're going on a stag do. We're going Temple Row, and I'm like, oh god, you're not going to Ireland if you're going Temple Row. That's not Dublin Temple Row. That's just basically a street for tourists with its pubs with the fiddles and all that lot. You know, proper Ireland is not Temple Row. I haven't been to Ireland for too long. I need to go back. Mexico, feed him. Here's Lozano into the box. Shoots early over the bar. He needs to take his shots down by about 5 metres. He keeps shooting over the bar. I predicted 2-0 in this game, so that would be good. IE says Lozano should definitely not play for Manchester United. Oh, yeah, because Lingard's way better than Lozano, isn't he? And so's Mata and so's Sanchez. You know, I think people... It made me laugh last night when people were saying, we don't need Milinkovic-Savic. Yeah, because we've got Scott McTominay and Marouane Fellaini. We don't need Milinkovic-Savic, one of the best up-and-coming midfielders in the world. Mad Marcus, up yours, you cheeky git. I'll tell everyone about the time I went to watch United-Chelsea in a minute. But George Kyle's not here. Game needs another goal, says the Red Flame. Here we go. Why are they shooting? Oh, again. This is a problem for Mexico that's starting to irritate me as well. Hernandez there, turns, got players ahead of him and he shoots. Again, about 5 metres over the box. It's amateurish. Stop doing it. You know, the top teams go and get There was a pass to put someone through one-on-one there. Top teams get the one-on-one. They don't start shooting speculatively, and they've got to think like a top team if they want to go far in this tournament. You know, you work hard to create the opportunity. Don't go for speculative shots. Create the big chance. It's a bit like playing FIFA, isn't it? You know, you're going to shoot from the edge of the box, or you're going to play the extra pass and get a one-on-one, which you know you're going to score. Score the goals. Do the speculative shots when you're 3 or 4-0 up. He wants a handball here. Looked like a handball to me. No, it's hit his chest. It did look like a handball when on the first one, but it's not. It's hit his chest. And his hands. Well, it has hit his hands, but it's in his chest, so it's not a flailing arm or anything like that. DJJ says penalty. It would have been ridiculously hard. Douglas says Mexico are getting too greedy. Yeah. Android phone says, I disagree. You need to mix things up to create uncertainty. Yeah, but they're not mixing things up, are they? Every time they get to the edge of the box, they're shooting. They're not mixing things up, trying to get someone in one-on-one. I think that, get the second goal and then you can mix it up. Pankaj is having an Indian. I need to start thinking about mine, actually. Oh, yes. Brilliant. I was going to order one, but someone's coming round after this game. Fish and chips, folks. We got fish and chips coming in for the half-time break between the end of Mexico and the start of Germany-Sweden. I'll be rejuvenated. It wasn't a penalty, Jun Woo Kang. It was a shot in the box and it hit the Mexican, but he had his hand like that into his body. The ball hit his hand there, but that's not a handball, is it? Because he's got his hand tucked in. He can't do anything else. I've enjoyed this game, though. I must admit, I think I've become a bit of a... I agree with Jose Mourinho, what he said before the FA Cup final, because somebody said you know, will it be an entertaining 5-0 win? And he was like, what's entertaining about a 5-0 win unless you're the team doing it? A more entertaining game is one that's close. And I think we've seen a lot of that in this World Cup, and I'm starting to appreciate that a lot more now. An entertaining game to me is not a 5-0. It's not. It's a close game between two teams, and this has been entertaining. Mayo on the fries, says Brian. I think I might not. I think I've got mushy peas, so there we go. I bet that's a really British thing, isn't it? When I'm saying fish and chips with mushy peas, I think everyone else would be going, "What are you on about?" You don't even have fish and chip shops outside of Britain, do you? Ben France, I agree with you. He says if Mexico did make it to the semi-final or the final, they'd lack the experience to get over the line. I think that's the problem, isn't it? They need to start getting to those stages, though. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, we're doing World Cup watch-alongs for every single game. You're all welcome, no matter who you support and where you are in the world. Get involved in the community and enjoy this World Cup festival. That's Football isn't just about the World Cup, but we are for the next few weeks. We normally do watch-alongs for Champions League, Premier League and all that. And also we have a daily transfer show. But it's all about the World Cup at the moment. So get involved. Every single game will be live. Type That's Football on YouTube and get involved. Here's Son into the box. South Korea are pushing. Good shot. Well held by Cho. Oi oi Savaloy, says Matthew McFadden. I've been watching some classic Only Fools and Horses actually at the moment. Not that oi oi Savaloy has anything to do with that. I'll tell you what I am watching at the moment, and you can't do spoilers because I already know the outcome. American Crime Story on Netflix, which is about the O.J. Simpson murders. Oh, I'd love to have a chat about that on a crap game. I'd love to have a chat about that. You've got so many political dimensions to that. It's a crap. I'm only on episode about 4. I think there's 10 or 12 episodes, but I already know what happens. But I know he gets off with it, or he gets found not guilty. Well, don't say he got off with it because maybe he was never guilty. But it's a cracking show on Netflix. Pankaj is back. Will Rashford play tomorrow, says Connor. Yeah, I am doing the England watch-along tomorrow. Really looking forward to it. England should win that against Panama. I mean, they should win it. But you never know with England. Shooting from Mexico has been crap this second half. Another corner for Mexico. Aaron Chen wants Korea to win. I'm glad that we've got a good mix as well. I mean, that's one thing I would say about the channel as well. We've always got people supporting different teams, which I really like, because we do the United Stand, which is a Manchester United fan channel, and the vast majority of people want United to win. But doing these streams with different people wanting different things is great. No problem at all if you want South Korea to win. I think it's great to have different opinions. Anyway, Mexico on the attack here. It's a very good effort from South Korea. I mean, effort sounds condescending, but they've done good work. They've done good work. I'm just going to have to stand up for a moment because I think I've got a problem with my internet, so let me just check. It won't be a moment. Talk amongst yourself. I'll be seconds. I'm back. If anyone's a United Stand follower, we are live at 9 o'clock tonight, straight after the Germany versus Switzerland game. So get involved with that on the United Stand. We did do a video as well, which I'll put the link in the video description before we end this stream. But we've still got half an hour of this to go. South Korea's World Cup depends on this next half an hour. If they lose this game, they're not mathematically out. Hernandez! Good block. Ball over the top. It worked well. It wasn't Hernandez. I think if it was Hernandez, he might have scored. It was Lozano, I think. Lozano needs to be a little bit careful here. He's just thrown an arm that even I saw. And if the referee'd seen it, I think he would have got a yellow card. Yeah, it was Lozano from the right-hand side. Breaks the offside trap. Good control. I don't think it was a very good connection anyway, but it was blocked. It wasn't going to go in. I'm Mexican, says Lozano. Isn't that good how people think? Will be interesting to see Japan's Senegal tomorrow, Kevin, because if they win that game, they're basically through. South Korea into the box here. That's the chance. Good block again. There's been some good blocks. I mean, this is the other side of Mexico that's interesting. Is defensively they're very good. They chuck their bodies in the way. There was a good block there from a shot from South Korea that was definitely going to be on target again, and they're throwing their bodies in the way. So defensively very good. But here's Mexico. They're trying to now hit teams on the break. There's Loyan. Ooh, just over the bar. Just over the bar from Vela. Curling it from the edge of the box. They seem to have a lot. They need to have some shooting practice, Mexico, because every one of their shots seems to be 2 meters over the bar. If you like Formula One, who should you back? Ricciardo's good. He's a good player to back. I mean, obviously Hamilton and Vettel are the very obvious ones, but Verstappen, Ricciardo in the Red Bulls are exciting. Matthew says I'd sell Martial and get Lozano in without a doubt. Got a yellow card here. He's well overdue a yellow card anyway. Lee, the number 2 for South Korea, he's been fouling a lot in the first half. How has the second half been? Just come back, says it's Teal. Well, I think we've lost about 200 viewers and people are saying it's boring, but I don't know. I mean, it's always about opinion, isn't it? I've enjoyed this game. I think it's on a knife edge. I mean, I don't know why people think it's boring because South Korea are going to go for this in the next 20 minutes. Otherwise, they're going to go out. So, and the game is stretched. I certainly don't think it's going to finish 1-0. So, I think it's interesting. And I'm actually very happy with Mexico. I hope people aren't saying, oh, Mexico can't win it now because they've not smashed Korea 4-0. I think you've got to understand what world football's all about, and Korea will give everybody a game. I guarantee you, Korea against Germany won't be 4-0 to Germany unless Germany play their A game, because Korea will fight. They're very, very hard working. So I think it's a good game for Mexico, and I think what we've seen from Mexico is defensively they're solid as well. You've got to be solid defensively. Marquez is going to come on. I think it's his 4th World Cup. He used to play for Barcelona. Lozano's injured here, which hopefully he's going to be okay. Yes, this is where I get worried about Mexico. The last 20 minutes, have they got the fitness levels? Because they did drop off a lot against Germany. Kagawa's Japanese English played very well for Japan the other day. I mean, interesting to see Japan play Senegal tomorrow because Japan were brilliant in that second half against Colombia, but they were playing 10 men. I think Japan-Senegal, I can't predict it. But whoever wins that, what a win. 6 points, you put yourself through. Here's a 2v2 for South Korea. Son with the blistering pace. Lovely skill. But he loses out and Mexico are back. They've defended very well, Mexico. They've defended very well. But that's not a good clearance. South Korea will come again. Mexico's goal, Distal's, was a penalty. And I think it was a straightforward penalty, to be fair. We didn't need VAR. It was a handball. And Vela put it away. It's Marquez's 5th World Cup, says MH Sports. The game needs a goal, says Fred the Red. Here we go. We've got a 3v2 for Mexico here. Lozano, use your man. Hernandez, 1, 2-0. Bang, get in there. Lozano to Hernandez. And he took his time, sent the defender back to Korea, and then slipped it past the keeper. That's 2-0. That's football. That's the goal that we needed. And it's Hernandez who gets it. And I've been impressed with Mexico today because South Korea are a decent, hard-working team. And Mexico, as favourites in this game, have had to work really hard. Their defence has been good. And they've got the goals when they've needed to get it. But they've kept to that Mexico way of playing, which is fast, quick football. They break the 3v2 here. Lozano does well. He can play it right, he can play it left. He goes Hernandez, who cuts inside and then puts it home. Lovely finish from Hernandez. 2-0 to Mexico. And it looks like they're going to get the points as well. That would give them 6. Mexico looking very strong for topping this group. And Germany will be like, oh my God, we're going to have to win tonight. We're going to have to win tonight. Hernandez, back of the nets. Changes the score. Well, I predicted 2-0, but I still think there might be more goals in this. That was his 50th international goal for Mexico as well. And Marquez comes on now for Guadrado. I'll tell you what though, when you compare Mexico to France or you compare them to Belgium after 2 games, look at what teams they've beaten. They've beaten Germany, the holders, and deserve to beat them. They're beating South Korea, who are a very established World Cup team, a very hard-working team and a very well-organised team. Belgium, very impressive, but they've beaten 2 pub teams. France, very unimpressive, and against Peru and who else have they beaten? France, Australia. So Mexico definitely played the better teams. I don't think Mexico should be spoken about World Cup winners yet. I think just enjoy the ride and see how far they can go. It's Teal says, are Mexico through if they win this? Yes, they are. Pretty much. Not definitely though. Because if Germany beat South Korea and Sweden, they'd have 6 points. If Sweden beat Mexico, they'd have 6 points. So, but they're pretty much through. Look at that party in the background there with the Mexicans. They're loving it. I mean, there's a lot of Mexicans there, which is great to see, but I still think it's really sad that Peru went out. I mean, Peru v France, they virtually had the whole stadium, Peru, in Russia. I mean, how many had travelled there and they were loving it? Absolutely loving it. But 20 minutes for South Korea. I think they'll go for it now. They've got to go for it. They've not been... To be fair to South Korea, they've not been... 2-0's obviously a fair result at the moment, but they've not been out of it. It's been quite an equal game, really. And the shot saved there by Ocha. Who's Germany's backup striker to Werner? It's probably Mario. It's probably closer still, isn't it? No, I'm only joking. I think he's retired now. Yeah, Iran, Spain as well, says 04 Al Sabi. They dominated the ground as well. It's amazing, isn't it? All these big nations like France and Spain, and then you get in the little nations with all the fans there who are really buying into football and loving it. It's great. Osama Hassan says, who do you prefer, Barca or Madrid? I think I prefer Madrid because of Ronaldo. Yeah. Lozano's coming off. Got the assist for the Hernandez goal. That's what you want. I'm Mexican says that Corona is better than Lozano and he's coming on now. So let's keep an eye on him. We'll give him a chance. Mexican goalkeeper plays for Standard Liège, so he's playing in Belgium. Oh, God. I need to wake up a bit. Got the Sweden-Germany game coming up at 7 o'clock. Join in for that. Mr. Travis Highrise is right. It could end up being one of those groups where you've got 3 teams on 6 points. Germany got to beat Sweden tonight, though, first. And they've got to beat Sweden tonight. They have. And Sweden, if they can get anything out of that, they could be... It's massive. I mean, we could see the end of Germany tonight. If Germany lost to Sweden, they're out. Simple as that. Now, I know that's a big statement, but if they did lose, Sweden would have 6 points. Mexico have already got 6 points. They're out. Son's going home, yeah. But it's not actually. South Korea aren't definitely out yet, because if Germany beat Sweden, Germany and Sweden have got 3 points. If South Korea then beat Germany, they'd have 3 points, and you could have 3 teams on 3 points if Mexico beat Sweden in the final game. So they're not definitely out yet. It'd be very, very difficult for them to turn it round, but they won't definitely be out yet if Germany win tonight, which is what a lot of people are thinking. South Korea on the break. They'll certainly be wanting to get a goal back and try and make it an interesting last 10 minutes. As I say, the technical ability of South Korea, the hard work of South Korea, they're not, maybe 2-1's a fairer result. But having said that, Mexico have defended very, very well. There's not been a clean-cut chance for South Korea because Mexico have organised themselves, they've thrown their bodies in the way. Apparently, Hazard and Lukaku are injured. If I was Sweden tonight, I would pack men behind the ball and hit on the break. Yes, I definitely would. Who's likely to play Mexico if they advance? They will play the second place team of the Brazil group, which at the moment could be Brazil. Although I think if Brazil beat Switzerland, they will be... if Brazil beat Serbia, then they should top that group. Then again, if Switzerland smashed Costa Rica, they could top it. So. Or Serbia could beat Brazil, knock them out, and then Mexico gets Serbia or Switzerland. It's interesting. Tell you what then. Oh, what happened there? What have they done at the back here? Mexico, they think they're going to get away with it, but there was some messing around from the goalkeeper, and I think if he took his chance, it should have been 2-1. There's a bit of afters here on the keeper. So Ocha's got it here and he sort of messes around with it. And it's the pass back from the defender that causes a bit of problem. But Mexico managed to fight and deal with it like they have done all game, chucking their body in the way, making the tackles. And then the ball runs through for Ocha to slip onto. And the South Korean collides with him, but he doesn't leave his feet in. There's not a lot in that collision, to be fair. I don't know why he didn't shoot either, Jack. It was a good chance to shoot, yeah. Mexicans put their body on the line, which is great to see, says Devil's Ace. Yes, I agree with you. They've defended very, very well in this game. And in the Germany game. They were under Kosh against Germany, weren't they? And they defended very well. They deserved that result, and at the moment, they deserve this result. Dos Santos comes on. I was just about to say that about Mexico. They have got some decent squad depth. So, and they do tend to be able to change like for like. So, I mean, they haven't got the squad depth of Belgium, but they have got good, decent squad depth. About 15 minutes left to go in this game. I'd love it to stay 2-0. I'll love it if it stays 2-0 because that's exactly the score I predicted. And I need some exact scores on my predictor league because I'm not doing very well. Will I be supporting Sweden tonight? Yes. I've got nothing against Germany, but I will be supporting Sweden tonight because I'm a fan of the underdog in this tournament and I want to see teams who are the underdog doing well in this tournament. And I also want to see a team win this World Cup that's never won it before. And the longer teams like Germany get in this tournament, the more likely, as history shows us, that they will win it. So it'd be obviously weird to see Germany knocked out of the tournament, and I don't think they're going to get knocked out of the tournament, but I would want Sweden to win, yeah. But having said that, if Germany turn up and put in a great performance and entertain us, I won't be disappointed. But yeah, I've got to go for the underdog. I've got to go for Sweden. But I think Germany will win. I'm more interested, from a United point of view, I'm more interested in how well Lindelof plays as the defender in that game. Please subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner. We're doing every World Cup game as a watch along and it's been fantastic so far with all of you getting involved with your live comments. We've discussed lots of great things, lots of topics, lots of debate points in the football. I think we've got a little bit of a Mexico fan group going as well, which is great to see. And long may that continue in this tournament. Mexico, I think, is becoming the That's Football team. Maybe the green helps. It would have to be them or Nigeria, didn't it? Because it certainly wasn't going to be Saudi Arabia. So the little fan community for Mexico is growing as well. But every single game we're live. Get involved in the live comments. Harry Lee says, my name is Callum McHugh. I'm your biggest fan. Please give me a shout out. Well, there you go, Harry. Or Callum. Callum Forsyth predicted 2-1 to Mexico. So he needs a goal from Korea. My man of the match so far, Anvish. Again, I look at the game as a whole, and I think I'm just going to confirm I've got his name right because it would be number 21 for me, Alvarez for Mexico. He's been fantastic as one of the defenders, centre back. They're quite a dirty team, South Korea, but that's part of their competitive element, to be fair to them. Mexico get it clear again. Bit of a break in play. Wira says that Mexico in the World Cup is just the Arsenal in the Champions League. They're happy to just qualify. Well, hopefully it won't end there for them, Wira. Hopefully we'll see them, up their game a little bit more mentally in the knockout stages and believe that they can go far in the tournament. I suppose you're right. I suppose that mentality is hard to adjust to. They're probably, that might be the problem with teams like Croatia as well. They're like, oh, we've hit the quarterfinals, we've overachieved, and then you're like, well, if we lose, it doesn't matter. Whereas teams like France and Germany, because they've won it so many times, for them, it's only a success if you win the tournament. And it's that changing of mentalities for these teams who are definitely closing the gaps. They're closing the gaps. I mean, I can't think of a tournament where Mexico or a team like Mexico and Croatia have turned up in their first two games, won them comfortably, and been really impressive. I think South Korea have been a dirty team in this game. Does people not know what dirty team means? It means like fouling in football, and I think they have fouled a lot in this game. But I think that's part of their game. They're quick into the player, and they put their foot in, and they try and disrupt it. As I said, they're a very hard-working team, and Mexico have had a challenge today, and they'll feel like they've had a challenge on that training ground in a couple of days' time. There'll be a few sore legs, but they've won. They've won the game, and they've fought very hard in it. So, and they're the more satisfying victories when you've had a workout. I mean, if I was Mexico manager, I'd rather be beating South Korea 2-0 and battling for it than beating Tunisia. 4-5-2 and knowing that they were defensively crap and organised badly, what do you learn about that? That you can smash a team that doesn't play very well. I'd rather, in a World Cup, be tested again by a different sort of football. They've played a European team, they've beat them. They've now played one of the best Asian teams, they've beat them. They've only got another European team, and Mexico are an American team, aren't they? They're North American or Central American team, and it'll be a different style of football that they're used to playing. So it's all good for Mexico. All good for Mexico. So far. Five minutes to go. Five minutes to go. I'll be live again at about 6:45, so in about an hour's time for Germany-Sweden. So join me for that one, please. I look forward to your comments in that one. I think we're going to get three very different games today. I think we've had Belgium, which was very one-sided. We've had this game, which despite Mexico looking like they're going to win it, has been very competitive. And there's not been a hell of a lot between the two teams. Just Mexico showing through in the end. I don't believe there's been a lot between the teams anyway. And tonight, Germany-Sweden. Well, maybe Sweden will sit back. Maybe Sweden will sit back and give up possession. But is that not their right? Is that not their right to do that? I would take Hernandez back to Manchester United, Harris. I think if he was happy to sit on the bench at any top four club, he's a major asset to throw on for the last 20 minutes if you need a goal. And at his age, he might be happy to do that. You know, he's going to be training and playing with very, very good players. It will along his Mexican career. Gary Wells says this has been a doddle for Mexico. I think it's been a very, very good game for Mexico because they've got through it without too many problems, but they've had a really good workout from a very, very hard-working team. And you come through a game like this and you win it when on another day you maybe draw it. It's all about building belief and confidence, and it's about building a winning mentality as well. They'll start to believe. They'll be like, wow, you know what a start. We've beaten Germany. We deserved it. We've beaten South Korea. We deserved it. We're going into the knockout stage and we deserve it. It's all about a mentality. Because everyone can say, oh, Mexico can win this World Cup. And I don't believe they can at the moment. I don't think they believe they can at the moment. But they've just got to keep growing with every game. So very, very pleased with Mexico. And I hope it continues. I'd bloody love a team like Mexico to win it. I'd absolutely love them or a Colombia to win it. And I don't think Colombia are going to do it. But it's all about them tomorrow. Brandon says there's no Mexican wave in this game. The Mexican wave is about boring games, though. The Mexican wave is like, if it's boring, it's something to entertain the crowd. Here's Son, way over the bar. I think they know that. Well, they're not actually going home yet, South Korea. I think they probably will end up going home. But as I said, if Germany win tonight, 3 points for Sweden, 3 points for Germany. Korea beat Germany, they're all on 3 points if Mexico beat Sweden. But Germany won't be very happy because they'll be like, shit, doesn't look like we're going to finish top of the group. Aaron O'Brien, everybody loves Mexico. Well, I wanted Mexico to do well before the tournament and I said that they might do. So if people want to jump on that bandwagon, the more the merrier. This is the Mexico fan channel when they play. But let's see. I'm not going to put high expectations on them. Yeah, Jack's right. Mexican wave's a sign of boredom. I don't think Klopp would leave Liverpool to manage Germany. But Lowe would get the sack if Germany got knocked out in the group stage. In fact, he might get the sack if they don't get as far as the semi-final, because that's German efficiency for you. And let's not forget, he's made decisions like not taking Leroy Sané to the World Cup, so he's made big decisions. Aaron Chen says, well done, Korea. Done Asia proud by showing up today. At least they didn't go down without a fight. Oh, you know what, Aaron? What a fantastic comment that is, because I genuinely hope people didn't think that Korea were a bad side. They're not. They've been very, very competitive. They've got a very good pedigree in the World Cups. And they've been good today. It's just they haven't deserved to win, but they've been good today. And the gap between them and Mexico is not a void. It's very, very close. And on another day, this could have been a draw. You know, the penalty was a penalty, but if that's not given, maybe it's 0-0 at half time. And if they put one of their chances away, it could have been 1-1. So they've done good. They've done good. Xander's not going for Mexico at all. That's fine. We want different opinions in the live comments. Five minutes added on. Another foul. Mini Diver says that Lowe is hanging on to his job by the skin of his teeth. Korea just in an unlucky group, says Giovanni. You know what? Yeah, I agree with that. I think some of the makeups of the group are a bit weird. I think this group could have done with maybe an Iran and then chuck Korea into Portugal and Spain's group, and it would have made it a more competitive group. And you look at Poland, Senegal, Japan and Colombia, take one of them out and drop them into maybe France's group or something like that. I think the spread of some of the groups has been a bit unfair. Or Russia's group. I mean, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Egypt and Uruguay. Take one of those... Take Egypt out and swap them with Poland into that group. It would have made those groups a little bit more competitive. Because I think Korea have been put in a tough group, and I think that the Poland group's very tough, and I think a couple of the groups are not. They've got two soft teams and two better teams. Even England's group, Tunisia and Panama. You know, Eric thinks Germany are going to be fine. Massive game tonight. You sometimes get a shock on the night games, as we've seen a couple of times. South Korea here. Be nice to see them get a goal. I think they deserve a goal. Oh, and they've got one. 2-1. They've taken away my my 2-0, but they deserve a goal. An absolute bullet by Son. Spurs will be happy with that. Cutting inside from the left-hand side. Gets it laid off to him. Spin. Shoots. Maybe the keeper should do a little bit better there. He should have done, because I went 2-0, you little shit. It's a cracking goal. Cracking goal, to be fair. And I do think South Korea deserve it. I think 2-0 doesn't flatter, but 2-1's about right. 2-1's about right. Although... You say that, they've still got a couple of minutes left in this game. Imagine that. You can go from feeling very happy with a hard day's work to feeling very unhappy. Interesting last couple of minutes. It was a lovely goal, says Fraser Dude Evolution. Aaron Chen says, push up, Korea, let's go, boys. Will they get one more chance? He's had 9 shots in this game, Son, though. It's a lot of chances, isn't it? Eric, I needed it to stay 2-0 as well. I had the perfect scoreline then in my predictor league. But to be fair, I think South Korea deserved the goal. I think they did. And I always do get my predictions wrong, Callum, yeah. No, Pankaj, I didn't get the prediction right. I said 2-0. Somebody did say 2-1 though. I know what you mean. Dazees Gaming says 2-2. Come on. Oh, Grim said 2-1. It's about a minute left in this game. So if South Korea are going to get a draw, they need to get moving. I don't think they've got it in them now. Hernandez, what are you doing? Go for the corner. "20 seconds left. I think they've done enough now because they've got the ball. And this is good from Mexico as well. This is confidence, keeping the ball, passing it around, closing the clock down. Korea can't get back at it. Chris Windle says blow the whistle. I think he's going to blow it very, very soon. And he's blown it. And South Korea have blown it. And they're knackered. They've worked really hard. But Mexico win the game 2-1. Well done to Mexico. Good result. And, yeah, very good result for Mexico. 1 foot into the group stage. 1 hand on first place. And Korea... That goal could be important for Korea, though, because they've got a slim chance of still doing it. If Germany beat Sweden tonight and Korea then beat Germany, they'd be on 3 points with Sweden and Germany. And not getting beat 2-0 and keeping it to 1 goal could be important. You never know. You never know. It could happen. Anyway, it's full time, everybody. If you refresh your video, there's an eye in the top right-hand corner if you've got a little bit of time before the Germany game. I've done a video on the United stand today about Kovacic to Manchester United and Mata to Barcelona. A little 10-minute video. Click the eye in the top right-hand corner. It will take you straight through to that video if you're a United fan and you're interested. And I'll be back here in about an hour's time. I'll speak to you all soon. And if you want to know about the Kovacic rumour, click the eye in the top-hand corner or go to the United stand. I'll see you all in less than an hour's time for Germany v Sweden. Thanks for watching it. We go Mexico. Speak to you soon.